My name is Travis St. Dennis. This is Labels on Demand. We primarily focus on B2B nutraceutical and a little bit of the health and beauty. So supplementation is our biggest market. I actually was on the manufacturing side and we saw a need in the label business that syncs with the customers a little bit better than the industry is doing, especially with all the disruptions with supply chain. We saw a need for a label company that can pivot and move with disruption at the manufacturing level to get product out the door faster. A lot of times at the manufacturer, we were waiting on labels, and so I set out to make sure that was never going to be the case with our company. As our company grew, and as we have always tried to be ahead of the curve with technology, we ended up partnering with JetFX. So we now are fully digital in all of our varnishing. A lot of companies in the supplement space love their matte with spot glossing, and we're running into a ton of issues with the self-wound and the JetFX. And likely it was due to the release agent used on a self-wound was not working well with the gloss coming out of the JetFX. We were getting streaking, we were getting bubbling, the gloss wouldn't wet out, it wouldn't connect, it was grainy. So Nobelus, right out of the gate when we got started up, GM was installing our converter. They brought a sample kit. Interest was piqued with the Caress. We were shown the difference in the very beginning when everything was being installed. And right out of the gate, we knew we wanted to get started with the best we could. And from what we were seeing and feeling, the Caress was by far the softest, most noticeably different lamination. And that's what started our journey with Nobelus. Our converter is the GM350 Flex. We have a UV, a wet lam station. We didn't need to upgrade anything to start using it. It's just a standard flood varnish and lamination. While the self-wound was attractive because it's quick, it's just like a piece of tape. What we were finding with the self-wound was the clarity was not quite there, and Nobelus by far, it's nothing compares. We have one big customer focused on female wellness. They were using Soft Touch. We sent them samples of our Soft Touch, and that's what stood out. They've moved all their business over to us, and they want the Caress. I think the industry moved to self-wound because it was so fast. Quite honestly, out of a little bit of laziness. The wet lamination process does take a little bit longer with setup and cleanup, but material costs are cheaper. Labor might be a little bit more, but the product is much, much better. Clarity, everything. Just from a material standpoint, between the glue and the actual product from Nobelus, we're saving in material costs about 5 or 6 cents per MSI. As far as the setup and breakdown, to use a wet lam in the beginning, it was taking a little bit longer, but fortunately our runs are long, so yeah, it took an extra 10 minutes to set up a run and another 10 minutes to break it down. Once it's set up and runs, you just keep the varnish station filled with glue. Self-wound is just so easy to just throw it on, but you put a little bit more love into that label. And then quite honestly, the efficiencies have been worked out. We've been doing it now that it's negligible as far as the time it takes. And our products are better now for it. And when you're running long runs, that 20 minutes you spent setting up and breaking down really pays dividends when you put out 500,000 labels and they all look much better. Nobelus support is amazing. Everything from just the material, getting us in touch with the best adhesive, that works the best for their products, all the way down to even helping us when we were running into some issues with tension on the machine. They know the industry inside and out, not just from lamination, but also the actual application of the product. And they're always there to help. Anybody that's thinking about Nobelus, I would say if you really care about the quality of your product going out, you want to stand out and you want your customers to notice the quality, you have to at least try it. When you see the labels come off compared to a self-wound, you'll see the difference in color, in sharpness, in clarity. It sells itself once you pull the first roll off. So we've decided, unless we absolutely have to, we will be using Nobelus on everything that comes out of our shop.